Welcome to another episode. My name's Jose Najarro, and today we're going to take a look at Virgin Galactic. If you follow the stock market, you know this company has been trending every single day this week, and I think last week it's been going up 4%, 5%. Right now, today, January 22nd, it ended up 14% up, and after hours it's up an extra 3%. So what's going on with this company? What does this company do? I'm going to talk about everything in this episode, so let's get started. First, let's take a look at this company's return. In the past month alone, this company has returned about 80%, close to 100. If we probably take a look at the after hours today, this company is brand new. It's IPO'd, I think it was in late October, early November. So this is a spaceship company, and the main purpose of Virgin Galactic is to be a commercial airline for people to go to space and experience space travel. All right, so all the sources that I'm gonna show you guys and all the slides that I'm gonna show you either come from Virgin Galactic's investors website, also Spce, SPCE is their ticker, and also I pulled out news report from Seeking Alpha. So those are the two places I'm pulling out this information. First, let's start talking about this company's history. I think the most important one here is in 2018, Virgin Galactic had its first space flight, and in 2020, this company is expected to launch its commercial program for customers, and I'm going to talk about them later on. We're going to see how many they're expected to have this year of 2020. A little bit more history on some important dates for Virgin Galactic. December 13, 2018 was the day the first commercial space vehicle to put humans into space. And it was the first crew space launch from United States soil since 2011. And in February 22, 2019, about a year ago, first non-pilot crew members were flown on a commercial space vehicle. The first non-pilot crew members flew a Mach 3 Plus, and the first non-pilot crew members to unstrap and float freely in space on a commercial space vehicle. So they have already done their testing. They have already flown people. Now they're getting the customers. So let's take a look at their fleet. Right now, the plane, Virgin Galactic has two planes, the VSS Unity and the VMS Eve. And these guys work together. So the VMS Eve kind of carries the VSS Unity until it gets into a certain point in the sky, and then the VSS Unity continues from there. So the VMS is pretty much just the taxi of the VSS, and then the VSS is where all the customers and all the crew members are at. And this is pretty much a diagram that they had that shows what happens. They leave their facility here with both planes, one of them attached. You can see one attached. The VSS Unity then separates from the VMS Eve, goes to space, comes back, parachutes down, and lands back. And that's what this whole space flight. This is what they're selling. They're selling the space experience. So Virgin Galactic is spread into two different companies. There's the Galactic, and then there's the space company. The Galactic, that's pretty much just the airline, right? This is the one that manages the customer's travel experience. They're the ones that make sure they get the customers. They just provide the whole experience for the customers. Then the space company, these are the manufacturers. This is the side of the company that tests the spaceships. The one that creates the spaceships, that does all the research and development on the spaceship. And we can see the space line, Virgin Galactic, has about 190 employees, and the space company, the OEM, has about 600 plus employees. Next, they want to talk to you guys about competition. The only true competition that this company has is Blue Origin. Blue Origin is not a public traded company. I think Virgin Galactic is the only public space company out there right now, because SpaceX is not one either. Virgin Galactic is the only one that has flown passengers. So that's a big milestone for them. And they do say, right, trying to get all the certifications and licenses to fly into space is definitely no easy task. So competition is pretty limited. Next, let's take a look at their executive team. The CEO is George Whitesides. He has 20 years of experience in NASA. You're going to see most of these guys either have some form of space travel experience or some form of studies in space. Their CEO has 23 years in Ericsson. Their president of Virgin Galactic has 24 years of experience in NASA. The president of the space company has 17 years of experience in the International Space University and Woodside. And their commercial director has 30 years of experience in Gartmore. So you can see these guys are definitely experienced in their field, and it's pretty cool that the CEO and the president of Virgin Galactic and the president of the space company all have some form of experience in the space industry. Next, let's take a look at their flight team. Their chief pilot has 42 years of experience. If they have this medal, it indicates that the astronaut has been to space, and we can see a lot of the pilots have the chief pilot 42 years of experience in Virgin Galactic. The director of flight test 39 years in NASA, also in the Marine Corps and United, and has also flown to space. There another pilot, again, United Marines Corps and NASA. We can see a lot of them are just Air Force, military, or NASA employees, ex-employees. So we can see they have a strong leading flight team as well. Then this is their phase 1 growth. The first thing they want to do is by 2023 they want to expand their fleet. They want to add 5 extra ships by the end of 2023, and I'll show you guys later how the current fleet is looking. Then the first phase is the main customers they want to start off with first are research or space condition researchers, are people that are willing to pay a lot of money for entry right now. So we have a lot of universities, we have NASA, Federal Aviation. So we see a lot of research companies being the first few customers. Then during phase 2, they want to start reducing the cost and open the market to more individuals. Here they show the net worth and the amount of individuals within that net worth. They want to be able to provide a market for people, the net worth of $1 million more, and that would give this company a huge amount of competition. They also want to build additional spaceports. They have some discussions with a few governments. Italy is one of them, where they're trying to add additional spaceports. Next, let's take a look at their number of vehicles they want to have by year ends. Estimated by the end of 2020, they want to have 2 vehicles, which which they currently have already. It's going to be one VSS Unity and one VMS Eve. And every year after that, they want to increase their fleet by 1. And then we can see total flights. 2020, they're going to start off, they want to start flights in 2020. Estimated they're only going to do about 16 flights on 2020, but we can see the growth from there. 2021, they're expecting 115, 2022, 170, and 2023, they're expecting 270. And the total passengers increase. This year, they're only expecting to send about 66 passengers. In 2021, that grows almost 10% to 646. In 2022, 965 passengers, and 2023, almost 1,600. Total revenue. First quarter for this company is going to be in February, and we're going to see that it's going to be very, very weak numbers. And obviously, it's going to be very weak numbers because this company is not flying anybody out right now. So for 2020, they're only expected to make $31 million in revenue. That's actually pretty low, right? Right now, I wonder what's the market cap of this company. It's definitely over in the billions right now. So it has a sales to price ratio of hundreds. Next, in 2021, they expect 210 million. In 2022, they expect 398 million. In 2023, they expect 590 million. Each year is high growth. Look, in 2021, they're expecting 834% growth. But obviously, if you're going from 31 million to 210, you expect high percentage growth. But from there, 93% growth in 2022 and 49% in 2023. So you still see that heavy increase in total revenue. You can see here earnings before interest and taxes and other expenses. This company is not expected to make any form of profit money until 2022. 2020 is expected to be their bottom peak at sitting at about $156 million loss. In 2021, they're expected about $48 million loss. And then 2022, they start to see some money at $86 million, and 2023 at $219 million. This company has no debt on its balance sheet, and that's actually pretty impressive. I would think a company that has this much writing would have a lot of debt, but it does not. And approximately it burns about $16 million in cash per month, which equates to about $190 million per year. But for purposes, this company has $400 million of cash. And that means this company can survive 2 years without providing no revenue. But we can see this company is expected to start collecting revenue in 2020 and 2021. So that should be enough to cover its expenses and its burn rate. So that's it. That's all I have for what the company presented to us. Next, I wanted to take a look at some of the news we see here in Virgin in Seeking Alpha. The first thing is I want to show you guys this earnings per share estimated for this company is it's negative. For 2019, this company has negative earnings per share of 91 cents, and for 2020 it has earnings per share of negative 34 cents. Revenue, like I mentioned, revenue is pretty weak. They're expecting for 2020 to be $7 million. That's a little lower than what they expect here. Here they expected about $31 million in total revenue for 2020. So, but still, that gives them a forward price to sales ratio of 488 for 2020. That means you're paying 488 times the revenue to equal the price. And one thing, if you guys, I don't know if you guys watched the Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful says he would never pay 10 times the multiple of revenue to price. So we can see we are overpaying right now based on future revenue. But we can see 2019, obviously in 2020, they're having such a low amount of people coming in 2020 that you expect low revenue. This is a growth company for sure. Next, they're going to say that they talk about some milestones. The CEO mentioned that they do have 2 spaceships right now. I mentioned that earlier. And they have their third one making good progress. This company, like I said, is expected to make its first commercial flights in 2020, but there's no set date to the moment. Another news coming up is Virgin Galactic is beefing up its hiring. They plan to bring about another 50 employees in New Mexico. And that's again pretty that's actually going to increase the burn rate. So I'm hoping they took that into accountable when they presented the other slides previously. And finally, we see this big rally happening, and some of the reasons, obviously these are just theories, but they say some of the reasons that the stock price went up these past few weeks is one, this past weekend SpaceX did a travel with actual human, I think it was after a successful test flight by SpaceX of its crew ready capsule over the weekend. So they're right. This is good news for space travel. And the second thing is that the CEO will be presenting at Barclays Industrial Select Conference. So again, when the CEO of this company goes and talks to Barclays and other financial banks, it's definitely a good news for the company. It means they want to know more about the potential growth of this company. The only other thing I want to mention is, like I said, the fourth quarter and full year of 2019 results are going to come in February 25th, 2020, and a lot of people are going to be watching this. So I hope you guys learned a little bit more about Virgin Galactic and why this company has been jumping these past few days. Let me know, what are you guys buying right now? Are you guys selling? Are you guys going to wait for fourth quarter? Because it does seem like it's going to be a pretty weak quarter for the company. So take care, guys. Have a good night and see you next time.